mes amis. Hi guys, collection review for an anonymous viewer from the UK. We will call him John. John was the first to send me a message to my Gmail address, uptickwr@gmail.com a year ago, and he just sent me a little collection review. So let's dig into it. Let's go right down to business. So he's got a Casio for working out and a Garmin as well. He got that fun Casio Oak. Why not? You know, if you love watches, you picked up those things like a Timex. It doesn't hurt. And then he's got three Seikos, the classic SKX, that's the 009 here. He's a bit dismissive of that watch. You know, man, this is the best one they have because it's not a pretentious diver. You know, it didn't cost much at the time, but it always rewarded you with so much pleasure visually, and of course it could handle the job. So beautiful, cool watch. Everybody's got to have an SKX. They never topped it in my book. And then you have a Turtle. I have the Captain Willard. I thought the Turtle was a bit too big, but it's my favorite case shape. Very cool. You say you might sell it, up to you. You have a Submariner after all. And then you have the third main case shape of Seiko, the one from the 62 mass. This is the reimagined version, the one that came out this year with the new colorway, the SPB 213. Very cool as well. Enjoy it for the summer, and as you say, maybe sell it down the line if you can recoup the money to put back into a bit more serious watch. And let's leave it at that for the Seiko stuff. The SKX, you know, is just, you can't beat that the coolness of the SKX. Now, one of your first luxury watches, your first luxury watch was the Omega Seamaster Blue, super classic, beautiful. What can you say? Tudor Black Bay GMT. You had a problem with the first one you had, so you have you sold the one that had a date problem, and then you missed it. You know, everybody is very ambivalent about this Tudor GMT. The way you have to understand it is that it's a diver, 200 meter diver. That's why it's a bit thicker. Of course, they could have made it a bit less thick, but it's really because of the sheer flank. It's really not that big, and it's just so beautiful, and it's such a good tool. Great watch to travel with. It's actually maybe the best GMT to have. So you say you might sell it. I would keep it for now, unless you can get the Rolex Pepsi at your 80. You say it's going to be very difficult. Of course it is. However, plead your case. Just say that you really want the watch, because they have to sell that watch to somebody, and it can't always be to the flippers, right? Now, you got very lucky at your 80. Anyway, you got the Submariner, and you got the Explorer 39mm Mark II, same as me. Look, man, if you just have to have one watch, either of these two is perfect. Depends if you want the day, the diver function and all that. The Submariner is so great because you can time things with the bezel. You have a date. Only needs to be adjusted 6 times a year. You know, it's much better than the calendar watches, which, if they run out, you have to push all the little pushers, readjust everything. It's a drag. And then, of course, you have the loom. You have the extension in the clasp. Great, super watch, and I love the Explorer. So, where you want to go next? You throw at me a few ideas. Of course, the Rolex Pepsi. Yeah, sure. If you love it, who doesn't? If you can get it, would I pay the premium? Look, depends. At your stage in the collecting, I would never do that. I think you have other watches to buy first before doing that, and you have that very cool Tudor. Don't do it. Keep the Tudor. Two-tone Daytona white dial. See, you live in the UK. I find that two-tone might attract too much unwanted attention. What's nice about it is that it's a dressier watch. It's a fairly small format, but you already have the Explorer. The Daytona doesn't have the date. It, as a chronograph, it's totally unusable because of those screwed down pushers. And the problem with when you get the two-tone white dial, well, you get that because it's the one you can get. I find that I'd rather get the best of something, like the Submariner or the Explorer, then get, you know, the third, fifth best of another model, because everybody of course wants to have the steel Daytona. I wouldn't go there. you're talking about precious metal Rolex. Okay, why not? Let's come back to that in a second. And then you're talking GLC reversal dual face small seconds, which you're afraid might be too dressy. Well, I don't know. If you work in an office, it's cool. What I like about it is that it's something a bit different, something a bit more interesting horology oriented, rather than the more tool watches that you have. So that would be something great to go towards. So I'm not dismissing it, but maybe it's not your lifestyle, and you might buy it because you're very smitten for a while, and then after a while you realize all you wear really is your Rolex. That's why I haven't bought a dress reverse. So the one I bought is pretty much the equivalent of a Rolex. It's the Grand Sport, all in steel with a bracelet, adjustment in the clasps, lume, everything, because I knew that that's the most usable one on a daily basis. And then you consider the Omega Speedmaster Sapphire Sandwich, now that the bracelet is a bit smaller, easier to wear for your wrist. Yes, of course. It's the coolest chronograph to get if you're going to get a chronograph. Now, I feel like you're trying to do what I did, tick all the boxes. You'll find out in the end that the Submariner was all you needed, and that the more you add, the harder it is to choose what to wear in the morning. And if every time you add a watch, you give less time, less attention to the other watches that you have. So, we all have to scratch all the itches. We all want to tick all the boxes. And no matter what I say, you're gonna do it. You're gonna have to experience it yourself, and nothing wrong with that. That's the fun of collecting, is experiencing the things we want to experience. But if you want my opinion, yes, it would be great to get the Speedmaster. It's in a way it's a cliche, but it's just so cool. It's just a beautiful watch. I love the case. I love the case of the Seamaster, that mid case. So. So thin, all the shapes there. It's so sexy. Really a beautiful watch. So that's the first one I would add. So that would make you that would get you 5 watch. So maybe get a little box for 6 watches. That would be quite perfect. Remove all the Seiko and the G-Shock, put them somewhere else, or keep them in this box, and just get yourself a nice 6 slot box. Add the Speedy if you can get it. No rush, it just came out. Probably prices are gonna come off on the second-hand market, because now they're available everywhere. Now, coming back to Rolex, is it too cliche to add one more Rolex? I don't think so, because it's so usable. You're gonna go into the brands because you want to be something a bit more interesting and all that, and in the end you realize that the Rolex is the one you're gonna wear the most. The one I would buy if you're interested in precious metals would be a Datejust. Just pick the dial that speaks to you the most. The great thing with the Datejust is that it's so usable. It could be your only watch. It's sporty enough, it's dressy enough, without being too dressy. Be careful in the UK, of course, if you go for precious metal. But the two tones are great. If you want to tone down a bit, you can also go for the two-tone with the Ever Rose. But the yellow gold is not two-tone is nice as well, of course. My favorite is the Wimbledon dial. I went for the steel because the bezel is white gold. It's a bit more stealth. It's still very much in your face. I still feel like I'm rubbing it in when I'm out with say for a company function or something. It's still very flash. So maybe consider the smooth bezel versions. They were a bit more under the radar, but then it's a bit closer to the Explorer. But I really love the Datejust, and it used to be it's still the one that sells the most at Rolex, but it used to be the one that everybody wanted. It will be more usable than the GLC, but maybe not as interesting, and you're gonna find yourself hesitating of what to wear in the morning. So how about just adding the Speedmaster for now, and see how you get on with things, give it a few months. There's no rush. There's always going to be reverse. So there's always going to be Rolex everywhere. They're always going to come up with more product. So what I would say is maybe slow down. You don't need to tick all the boxes. Honestly, for me, my Sea Dweller and my Explorer is just the ones that I love the most, and that I wear the most, and I also love my Datejust. So there you go. I'm not sure if I'm making your life any easier with my half-fast advice here. Guys, let me know. Let John know in the comments what you think. I think this collection is something that will resonate with many people. We have all gone through the same kind of phase, kind of collection. Trust you me, try to tick all the boxes. Adding too much is not gonna do you any good if you've already bought the Sub and the Explorer in your collection. All right, guys. Thanks, John, for your message. Thank you guys for watching. It's Friday. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.